This is what I'd do if I'd had to start over to get a job in cybersecurity. Thank you to Fiverr for sponsoring today's video. Number 1 is to go through mock interviews as part of my interview prep. When I was preparing for my previous cybersecurity interviews, I typically did the basics, which was to touch up on cybersecurity concepts, practice security design questions, learn a bit more about the company and the role that I'm applying to, any recent hacks, any relevant cybersecurity news. I would also use common cybersecurity interview questions that you can find on Google. But if I were to restart, I would really focus on mock interviews. So a great way to do this is by using Fiverr, where you can actually find cybersecurity professionals who are already in the field who can help you with resume reviews, coaching, advice on applying to jobs, and mock interviews. I recently got a chance to work with Victoria, and she is an awesome resource with more than 10 years of experience in IT and cybersecurity, and she also provides a service for mock interviews. This is a great way to experience what a cybersecurity interview may actually look like before you go into a real interview, so you know what to expect, the types of potential questions that interviewers may ask you, as well as just to calm the nerves a little, because after you do 1 or 2 mock interviews, you'll know what to expect and have less pressure on yourself when you're in the real interview. You can check out Fiverr and use my code Sandra for 10% off your first order by using the link in my description below. Number 2 is focusing on technical projects. So when I got started in cybersecurity, I actually didn't have any cybersecurity projects on my resume. This was also partly because I came from a software engineering background and I didn't really do that many cybersecurity projects. But I do think that it would have helped me a lot in terms of being able to talk about my technical cybersecurity experience if I had focused on creating a project-based resume, even if I didn't have any previous cybersecurity experience, which at the time I did not. I actually have a video that I made recently on the top 5 beginner level projects that you can do coming into cybersecurity with no experience, and I'll link that video down in my description for you to check out. But one of the biggest things I recommend as part of that is to make sure that you're properly documenting the projects that you're working on. Make sure you have some kind of end product that you're sharing, that you're able to potentially share with an interviewer, with HR, whether it's a pen test report or a walkthrough or a GitHub link or an online portfolio that you have. Add it on your resume or something that you can share with the hiring manager. This will be a lot more impactful than just talking about the projects that you worked on, because you're actually able to see what the end product of that project looked like, so you're able to portray your verbal and written communication skills along with your technical skill set. Alright, number 3 is career coaching. So if you guys didn't know, I actually currently have a career coach, and I started working with her about 2 years ago. But if I had a career coach at the beginning of my career, I honestly would have been in a much better place in my career. Career coaching is a great way to help you set direction for your career, where you're going, what skills you want to focus on, what certifications you should get, if you should take XYZ course, what resources should you use, even things like asking for a raise, negotiations, when to ask for a promotion. All these things go back to career coaching. And I know in the beginning, even in your early career, you may not think that you need a career coach, because oftentimes it sounds like something that more senior level people use or executives who have career coaching. But in my opinion, I think career coaching is even more useful when you're in your early career, because you're just starting out and you're really asking yourself the questions of where you're going and how you're going to get there. And you can actually find career coaching resources on Fiverr, where you'll get personalized coaching sessions along with advice on how to build your network in cybersecurity and personal branding on LinkedIn and other relevant social media sites. This will really give you some direction in your early career as you start out, along with a custom career action plan and career resources that you can use for professional development. If you need a resume review, cybersecurity career coaching, or other career services, you can check out Fiverr using the link in my description below. Alright, number 4 is to get an official cybersecurity resume review. This is something that I recommend to everyone, and I really do think it's important to get an extra set of eyes on your resume, especially if you're just starting out. Whether you're a bootcamp student or a college student, your resume likely doesn't yet have any technical relevant experience yet, and you probably want to focus on getting those technical projects, those skills, maybe entry-level certifications, any educational background, maybe some conferences or technical affiliations. But if you're someone who has experience in a different field and is coming into cybersecurity, then your resume is going to look a lot different than the first case. So even though you can find cybersecurity resumes out there as a template or even on YouTube, it'll really benefit you if you're able to get personalized feedback and input on your resume specifically. Because your experience, your projects, your background, whether it's technical or non-technical, is going to vary significantly from person to person. So before you spend time applying to hundreds of jobs and not hearing back because your resume isn't putting your best self forward, I would highly recommend getting a personalized resume review which will in the end save you time to get you more hits to get to the actual interview stage so that you can in turn hear back from more employers. Fiverr has plenty of resume review services online. I actually recently also got a resume review on Fiverr, and it was a great experience having someone go through my resume and actually looking at my bullet points, because that is the part that I'm not the best at, specifically writing resume bullet points that really highlight the impact of the work that I did in the jobs that I've had. So I would highly recommend getting a resume review. Before spending all that time sending out job applications, last but not least, you're finally at the stage where you're ready to apply for jobs. Firstly, I would stay away from job portals that are easy apply, that are one-click apply. Anything that's really easy, there's probably going to be one application with hundreds, even thousands of applicants for one role. And honestly, it's hard to say how many recruiters are going to look through all of those resumes, and it's going to be really hard to stand out. Kind of like a needle in a haystack at that point. So personally, I like to apply for jobs using smaller portals. Built-in is one that I personally like to use, or I'll apply directly to the jobs on a company's career website. I know this typically can be a little bit harder, but I also feel like because applications on a company's real website are typically more time consuming, it also makes people less willing to apply to them, which in turn means that there's less candidates applying to one position, and instead of like hundreds or thousands of applicants, maybe you'll have less than 100, and it'll be a lot easier for you to stand out in that group compared to the easy clicks, the one applies. So just remember that if the hurdle is higher to apply for a job, there's probably going to be less applicants and a higher chance for you to get the job. So it may be more time consuming in the beginning, but honestly, it's going to save you a lot of heartache compared to applying to hundreds of jobs and using one-click apply, which is really easy, but never being able to stand out in that group of thousands of interviews, which in general is just really hard. Trust me, I've been there. I've tried like easy clicks and easy applies, and personally, I don't think I've heard back from any of them, even though I've applied to hundreds of them on various different websites. So definitely do yourself the favor by applying to jobs on the company website directly. Usually I just look them up on Google and I jump straight to the company's website rather than through a third-party job search site. And there are also services on Fiverr that can help you apply to jobs that are specifically catered in the niches or the titles that you're interested in. For example, if you're looking to apply specifically for remote cybersecurity analyst jobs, you can find services on Fiverr that can help you directly apply to relevant jobs. This is also a great way to speed up your job search process. I know right now the tech job market is honestly very volatile, and it's definitely not easy, especially if you're someone just getting started in your career or making a switch or transition into cybersecurity or any other tech field. Hopefully some of the things I mentioned in this video will be helpful to you as you get started in your career. There are also plenty of learning resources that I've included in my description below if you want to check them out as lower cost resources that can help you get the relevant skills and experience that you'll need to break into cybersecurity. Alright, so that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you need a resume review, cybersecurity coaching, or any other career services, you can check out Fiverr and use my code Sandra for 10% off your first purchase using the link in my description. Thank you again to Fiverr for sponsoring today's video. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below, maybe anything that you would do differently or advice that you might have for the rest of the community. Feel free to drop those in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching, and if this video was helpful to you, please consider liking and subscribing as it really helps out the channel. I post videos weekly, and hopefully I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!